Skate Talk Online, the ultimate figure skating resource. All right, moving on to ice dance. Madison Hubble, Zach Donahue, world silver medalists, U.S. national champions. Winners here, pretty convincingly. The rhythm dance, I think it showed off deep edges. Their feet were always really close together. And no matter what time of season it is with them, I feel like they're always very sure of their movements and they're well prepared and nothing looks like it's a struggle. Right. They had deductions in the program, 2 odd deductions that we don't see as often. One was for a very, very tiny piece of her costume fell off. And then the second deduction was at the very end. She put too much weight on him and it caused him to kind of fall over. The rules say that you have to come to a clear stop. He did not. So all in all, they got 2 points of deductions. But overall, good program, don't you think?
I mean, I think that that's a process of whittling. You know, better staple gun or hot glue for the outfit. And, you know, he had a long flight, so he sat down. But I can't speak about them objectively at all. I absolutely love the both of them. They blow my mind every season with how much better they can get. And they're in a zone right now where they're giving us classic and the rhythm dance. And, you know, the second the Desiree piece started in the free dance, I just melted. Everything in that free dance is special. Everything has a special flavor and a look to it. They have crafted something that I think is beyond their efforts in the past, and that's exactly what you want when you have a season ahead of you where anything could happen.
Silver medalists were Charlene Guignard and Marco Fabri from Italy. The one thing that stands out for me is they are like acrobats into some of their elements. They had this crazy lift into their twizzles in the rhythm dance. They have really different positions in their spins. If I was critiquing them, the only negative I can see is that sometimes the things are so unique that they tend to look a little bit awkward, like they're not supposed to be how they're performing them. What do you think?
No, I agree. I think that their approach to innovation, I champion. I'm not sure that the scores necessarily have a place for innovation, but as an artist and a choreographer, I want to see everybody innovate where they can. So because they have been more like the Mateo of ice dance, where the likability has been off the charts for them for a while, they're branching out into new ground. Yay, good. So they're trying on dresses, as I say, and let's see if this one fits and looks good out of the store. I think if they can get their innovation movements to be more appealing overall, then they're on the right track. If not, it's time to try a different feature. So.
Free dance is La La Land. A lot of people roll their eyes when they hear that's the music. They didn't really use a lot of the typical songs, though. It wasn't a program full of jazzy, upbeat songs. It was really pretty slow throughout. And for me, they really started to have this freedom that maybe we saw a little bit last year, but I think they're skating a lot different this year because they are Italian #1 now. Their teammates Capolini and Lanotte are retired. And again, in the free dance, just pushing into the spins and the lifts, their creativity is really off the charts.
Yeah, anytime you choose a piece of music where from the first couple of notes, everybody in the audience and hopefully on the panel perks up, right? And then it doesn't go where everybody else takes it. That was a wise choice.
Bronze medalists here, Tiffany Zagorski, Jonathan Guerrero from Russia. They have not skated earlier in the season because she had an injury. Free dance here is by Christopher Dean to Blues for Kluk, which we've, again, seen in the past, not only with ice dancing, but Daisuke Takahashi had a really successful program with it. Coming back from the injury, I think it was obvious at points that they weren't 100% and they weren't completely ready. A lot of missing handholds, balance checks. He actually hit her head at the end with his arm. But overall, I think this was a good look for them.
Yes, good. And it was, as a coach, I would have said this is too early. When I was putting together a new program, it would take me 6 weeks of trying everything and falling on much of it before things would start to gel. As far as the choreographic standpoint is concerned, sometimes I would work with choreographers like Cindy Stewart and Robin Cousins, and they did things that I didn't even know were possible. So I'm tripping all over myself. And when Frank and I would talk about what competition I was going to go to, I was like, I don't know. I don't want anybody to see my ugly. And he thought that was the funniest thing in the world, would constantly say in mixed company, did you know that Douglas doesn't want anyone to see his ugly? And I'd be like, Frank. So I think it was too soon. I do. And I would say that had they been in charge and in control of their assignments, picking a later date would have been better for them.
He also, I don't know if you noticed, he had a costume issue at the beginning of the program. His shirt was buttoned all the way up, but about halfway through, I think there was one button left, and then you saw in some of the elements there was like a dance twizzle that he was holding on for dear life to make sure that costume did not pop open.
Right. Want any peekaboo there. So, I would like to say that was by design, but probably not. So, yeah, let's get the stapler gun out.
Fourth place here was Lorraine Carpenter and Quinn McNamara, who actually received the highest levels and hit all of their key points for their patterns in the rhythm dance. I would say they're really, really proficient with their skating, like the Shibutanis. Really, really, just everything is exact. They don't give any questions to anything they're doing. But if I had to look at something where they needed to improve to get onto the podium, I think they need a voice for themselves. I think they need to be more in your face. They're kind of right now just, we're here, we're going to do everything, and that's it. What do you think?
They are the model for this. This is how beautiful skating should look. And like you said, they're rarely out of position, if ever. And the manner in which they do classic and basic technical moves, elements, and shapes it should be the rule book. Having said that, yeah, their voice is perhaps not as clear. I think in this program they are edging towards sort of Merchant Ivory look, and they've long been a good romantic couple on the ice. But this has a little bit different feel to it. It's a little bit more period piece, and I would like to see them embellish that even more. They are so appealing, and they have such strong skating that clarifying their voice in any way, in your face or not, would absolutely be the way to go.
Another special mention, fifth place team from Great Britain, Lila Fair and Lewis Gibson. They actually train alongside Hubble and Donahue, Papadakis and Cesarone. Typically with a team, I think okay, I'm going to watch the man or I'm going to watch the woman because one of them is just so over the top and the other one's kind of presenting them. With them, I have to say they're both equal. You don't know who to keep your eye on. I think she's an absolute star. I think that he really sells it too. And maybe the exact opposite of McNamara and Carpenter is that they are not as clean or sure on their technique, but they have that star quality.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. And like I kind of feel like if I even set foot in Montreal, I would be in next season's ice dance teams. I mean, somewhere mixed. They'd be picking somebody off of the street, and I'd be thrown out there. Like it's such a hotbed of creativity and development and excitement, and what Montreal has got going in skating period is really wonderful. And I think that they are right now benefiting from being alongside people who are the best in the world by far, and where they choose to go with it, it remains to be seen. I also want to talk about Manta and Johnson, and I can't be objective about this either. 20 plus years ago when I came out, and I was waiting for somebody else to do the same. These kids are really special, and they have heart and love and goodness to put out there. Now with this new free dance, I'm thinking maybe even a little edge, which is kind of hot. They looked like puppies that had been, set free on the front lawn. And I absolutely adore that they are skating for themselves and singing their song as loud and as joyously as possible. And they were a joy to watch from beginning to end. And
they also were choreographed by Christopher Dean. I think they're in their free dance at least. And I think regardless of the levels, regardless of the GOE that they got, you can tell that they just really were happy to be there and they really enjoy skating. And again, a lot of people consider just the numbers, but you have to look at this team. Really, really, probably the most excited team of the entire event.
I actually think that their deep-edged movement is exquisite. I do think that they have features to their skating that are of such high value. But ice dance is like off the charts in this country. We have so many good teams. I go watch the event and am entertained and into it at the American Nationals. I mean, let alone the Worlds, where it's wonderful too. And they are absolutely in the thick of things. And the correct choice this year was to sing fully and completely with their own voices and enjoy it. And they're doing it.
Moving on to the ladies, Brady Tennell had a really good outing earlier in the season. Beat Evgenia Medvedeva, two-time world champion, Olympic silver medalist, in an event in Canada. In the short program, she made a big mistake. She popped her triple S triple loop into a triple S single loop. So not only did she lose big points on that single loop, but she got a negative grade of execution for the entire element. She came back in the free skate, a few errors here and there. But what do you think about her progress from last season into this, and what do you think about her programs?
I mean, I know a lot of good people who, up and down the hierarchy, working for the association. I do think that historically, and the association will, and with the media, will grab a hold of an opportunity to highlight and embellish a certain moment throughout the Grand Prix season as and they'll start to characterize the next thing. What has happened to many skaters over the years and chewed them up and spit them out because they don't know how to handle it. They don't have the training for how to handle that kind of scrutiny. We're all counting on you. And like, yikes. Some of these skaters are just kids. And there isn't enough training out there for everybody in their support team to be able to handle that kind of choice from both the association and the press. The manner in which that happened to Starr and Brady here, I think is unfair. And both of those girls, I would want to be like, this means nothing. The idea that Brady can is strong enough to come back fighting and stuff like that. Oh yeah, she's got it. She's got it going on. So this is a moment in time. It's not representative. Was she the favorite? I mean, I don't know. I kind of feel like
I picked her as my favorite.
I mean, I think she's capable of blowing the field away. The carry, the speed, the gorgeousness. I would like to see her a little bit more, her heart present as a performer, but she's on the way there. It's gotten better every year. And so I have nothing but good things to say about her. The big difference when she is at her best technically is going to be the heart and soul of that performance. Can she do can that technical mark be the best in the group? Oh my God, yes, absolutely. And it should be by the end of the season.
Johnny Weir, I think, actually mentioned that, regardless of how she skates, he said this in the short program, regardless of how she skates, she kind of skates the program in the same manner, meaning her emotion really doesn't change. And if I was to critique anything with this competition, I think that since her short program is so avant-garde and has these really, really precise movements, if she's not exactly on that music and on that beat, things can start to look a little awkward and not make much sense. And I think we kind of saw that in the step sequence, which absolutely blew me away in the first competition in Canada last month. But this time, maybe not as much. But one thing I do have to say about her, in the scope of American ladies, I like that she really seems to be fearless. She goes into those jumps, just bang. Little preparation, no fear.
She had a mistake in the short program. And what did she do for the next two jumping passes? She went faster. Yeah. She went faster. And I like that, to see that as from a competitor's heart standpoint. The short program, I believe in it because of pressure, because of perhaps it being an America's Grand Prix. There was a holdback, absolutely. I think if she learns through the season how to be all in on the choreography and the presentation, I believe in that short program. I think it's a good one.
let's give respect to the winner, Satoko Miyahara of Japan. If I had one word to describe her overall, it would just be regal. Everything about her is just so perfect. You can tell she works so hard. Everything down to her fingertip is so perfectly placed. And she can skate to anything. And I think the comment was she can really skate without music and you'd still believe in her skating. And it's true, you know. She always had a problem with the height of her jumps. I think here they looked a little bit higher. And being a little bit critical, I think that they're still borderline possibly under-rotated here. Not so much, but she's to the point where maybe she's about an eighth of a rotation short. And, you know, if she starts to get nervous, that still might come into play. But, you know, she skated right after her teammate in the free skate and absolutely nailed everything. And I think her PCS, when we're looking at that specifically, she probably should be the best in the world as far as the ladies go. Maybe Carolina Kozner is the only one that should be at the same level, but I think she definitely should be in the nines as far as that's concerned.
As far as becoming a character and owning it throughout the program seamlessly, oh yes, she's absolutely at the top of the world. Nobody's even close. I mean, I hate to say it because there's a lot of great gymnasts out there, and I mean that by skaters. I really think that she has laid the groundwork for her to be on the podium heretofore. And if anybody misses, she's in. She knows she can't miss. She cannot miss because of the the other girls might have more athleticism overall. So she goes out there and has laid the groundwork, program after program, and the fan base and the people that support her is well deserved. She has historically laid the groundwork for what's to come. She knows if she skates well, she's going to have a shot. And I think that's really awesome.
Same winner as last year. We also had the same silver medalist as last year, her teammate, Kaori Sakamoto. So consistent as well. I think she has this youthful energy and an infectious smile, and you're just drawn into whatever she's skating to as well. She's wonderfully choreographed. I think that her free skate is the stronger program, but both programs are good. I think the difference between her and someone like Miyahara is that her movements seem to be just a little bit rushed and not as perfected as someone like Satoko. But we can't discount what she did in this competition. I mean, she was amazing.
Yeah. I agree. And I think that I like that short program. I think it really shows off everything that is appealing about her. I see her as a thoroughbred. She goes out there and it just looks like there's an utter abandon going into some of those elements. That's really fun to watch. You are right. From the white glove finishing touches, Miyahara's got it all over her. But it's coming, right? So if she has that as the standard in her country, you can only imagine that it's going to get better for her. And like you said, because of the virility of what she does and her potential to be likable and sell a program, I am really looking forward to seeing her have a chance this year at a much higher spot.
And remember, last year she started the season not even in the talks for the Japanese Olympic or world team. She ended up going to the Olympics, finishing 6th place. So this has all come pretty quickly for her.
Indeed. And like, let's hope that there's not the kind of, burden and scrutiny and pressure. I want to give these kids a chance to be who they are. And sometimes there's an adjustment period, a little bit of a wax and wane. And you know me, I want everybody to skate their absolute best. And when things prevent that from happening, it breaks my heart. And I'm hoping that she gets the support that she needs to really make a breakthrough.
Speaking of thoroughbreds, as you said, Sophia Samorova won the bronze medal here. And it's just insane. She attacked both programs. She was the first to skate in the short program. She held the lead until the final 2 or 3 skaters. She didn't miss an entire jump the entire competition. Perfect competition jumping wise, has a really youthful energy skating to Christina Aguilera and burlesque in the free skate. She's coached by Alexei Mishin, and I think one of the big differences that I see between her and some of the other Russian ladies is that she already knows a style that she likes and she sells it. It's not like a paint by numbers, move from element to element because I'm told to do this kind of thing. There's more freedom, and with that maybe comes more sloppiness. But she's fantastic. I could do without the Tano variation on every single jump, but I have a feeling that's the way she learned, and that's the way she thought she could earn points. And now with the system changing, it's not really as rewarded anymore, and she's kind of stuck with that for now. But honestly, her first Grand Prix, and she has a bronze medal.
I agree with you absolutely. When skaters come up and they already have their own voice, and they're able to pull off some great elements, and you're absolutely dead right from a coach's perspective. When you learn something in and out like the Tano position, going back to classic is actually hard. It's really hard. So it's like, okay, let's sleeping dogs lie, even though there's not necessarily a point perspective on it. Rather have you land stuff and feel solid about it. That's the better way to do it. What I'm concerned about is that lots of times associations and officials will try to hone you in the model of what is seeming to be the going rate out there. And I'm all about like exploring the crazy. Like whatever it is that makes you special, amplify it. Try not to smooth it out and make it like everybody else.
Marin Honda, special mention, fantastic choreography, particularly in the short program. She's another one, though. Rotating the jumps is going to be an issue, and we saw her really come unglued in the long program. She is someone that 2 years ago was, almost neck and neck with Alina Zagitova, and then last year, potentially a lot of people thought she could be competing for an Olympic medal. We obviously know that Zagitova went one way, Honda kind of fell off the wagon. Even though, her free skate is one that she's going to want to forget. What did you think about her skating?
I think this is a classic case of, I'm a fraud syndrome, where somebody is wildly talented and they are not fully and completely believing it. So, yes, when the extra scrutiny of like, here's the girl that might last year, she had a rough time with it. This program, remember I said earlier about the short program, holding it together and singing a song beautifully for the short program, a whole lot easier than holding it together for the entire long program. Might have been just a little bit too early for her. So I'm thinking to myself, if she has now managed her emotions better, then this might be just a training incident where what showed up was she needed a couple more weeks, that kind of thing. That's what I'm hoping, because I do believe that if she does believe in herself and works in that fashion, that she could be among the best in the world for sure.
Two other American ladies here, Megan Westenberg, who was the UFSA host pick, and Star Andrews, who had the breakthrough at Nationals last year. Westenberg had a really strong short program, found herself in the final group. That probably was an accomplishment within itself for her. Decent free skate as well.
She's solid. She's a go-to, right? And from the American perspective, if you think that she's not going to do a good job and you can't count on that, you're out of your mind. She's one of the hardest working girls I've ever met, and I absolutely sing her praises for turning in those solid performances. Getting into that group and then skating well, my hat is off to her. And there's so much about Star that is bananas awesome. So many features about her that make her a rock star. And being able to have that many plates spinning and having people talk about you and having all this stuff, I find that attention and that stuff is great for the ego, but it undercuts your ability to feel confidence on a day-to-day basis going into a competition and then at the performance. I would like for her to really understand that we are all going to love her if she just skates as good as she feels she can.
Star competes again next week at Skate Canada. As far as the top four ladies here, they all compete at different events later in the season. Satoko's at NHK, Kaori's at the new Finnish Grand Prix, Sophia's at home in Russia, and Brady goes to France.
This was sort of the Hall of Fame of potential for the men's. In particular, it was being a former men's competitor. It was fun to see people coming back and showing that they still have moxie, they still have something to say. And the event overall was wonderful. Whenever I see on social media after events, this fans saying, "Oh my God, face surfing from beginning to end." It is depressing. And this time, everybody was satisfied in debating who had the best performance. That's what we like to see. Congratulations to Skate America and their organizers.
Thank you, Doug, for talking with me. Really
My
good
pleasure.
event. This is the first of 6 Grand Prix stops this weekend, Skate Canada. Moving on, Finland, Japan, Russia, and France. And then the final is in Vancouver this year. Thank you again, Doug, for your time. Appreciate it. Be sure to follow Skate Talk online for the rest of the week. We have some special interviews coming up with current competitors and past champions of Skate Canada. Thank you.